Everyone knows you don't need $20,000 worth of microphones to have a professional level recording. But that doesn't mean it would be nice to have access to them. Alright, hey, what's up? My name is Danny McLaughlin. Welcome to my channel where we talk about all things guitar, music, production, and recording related. I wanted to talk a little bit about music production today and some of the tools that we use to make these happen. If you don't know, I do production. I actually do production for myself as well as some other people. And I also have tons of experience working in studios both in Orange County and Los Angeles, running sessions, doing session work, running cables, setting up microphones. But when you think about recording studios, the big thing that you think about is their mic collection. And from working in some of these studios, I've actually gained a lot of experience in working with the microphones that this microphone is modeling. Now, this is the Townsend Labs Sphere L22, and it's a modeling microphone. Now, modelers, I've always been a little bit on the fence about. I don't necessarily know if they really emulate the sound as good as it could be, or if it's as good as the real thing. I've always been fairly skeptical of the Axe-FXs and Kempers, in preference of the real amps, because I've always had access to real amps. I've acknowledged the convenience of modelers, as well as the affordability. And I'm a guitar player, so a lot of the times these preferences are things that I hear just because I've been in the guitar world for over 10 years. That being said, microphones are microphones, and they do a job. They pick up sound as they're supposed to, and depending on the microphone that you're using, it will pick up sound in a different way. And yeah, microphones do shape tone, but I don't think you're getting much inspiration out of using a specific microphone as you would using a specific amplifier. And in the fast-paced music industry world, I think there are better things to spend your time thinking about over choosing what microphone is the best to use in the situation. Now, if I hired an engineer in a studio that was charging me $500 an hour, I would expect that engineer to know what microphone is best for what situation. So the first thing that really drew me to this microphone was its convenience. I really see this microphone as the perfect always set up microphone that you can record in mono, directionally, or stereo if you tilt it. And the plugin that you get with this microphone will process that signal differently depending on how you use it. There's a lot of convenience too in setting up tube microphones, because a lot of the times you're working with power supplies, you're working with multiple cables, and if you're doing a stereo setup, this can be up and running in a matter of minutes. And with some of the ribbon mics that you're emulating with this thing, you don't need to worry about busting the mic by accidentally adding phantom power. I personally also really like that when you do add phantom power to this thing, the lights illuminate. And this is a stereo microphone, so you do need to plug it into two XLR inputs in your interface, and both inputs need to have phantom power on. So if you're only powering one half, only one half of the lights light up. It's just a nice little failsafe. For me, as a producer on the go, as someone who needs to set up in multiple locations, I also like how convenient my setup can be. I can take my interface and this microphone and a mic stand and have access to some of the world's best mics anywhere I go. And as I've mentioned before, my interface is a Universal Audio Apollo, so I'm getting a lot of really great digital emulations of studio gear that's available to me in a very small and compact package. I'd love to show you a few clips using this microphone. intuitive. It actually seems to encourage UAB microphones on the same recorded source. And when you think about it like that, this microphone is actually such an excellent learning tool to hear what all the famous mics sound like. You do get to hear the differences between a vintage U87 and a new U87. There's also the two other universal audio plugins that you can purchase after the fact. The Bill Putnam microphone collection and the Ocean Way microphone collection. Now these microphone collections were legendary. Let's go there right now. So I'm sitting in a hot car in Hollywood, California, next to Ocean Way Studios, or actually what used to be Ocean Way Studios. This facility has been known as actually quite a few different names. Started out its life as United Recorders, owned by Bill Putnam Sr. Then it was United Western. And then in the 70s, Alan Sides was actually able to purchase and then lease the building. This is dumb. You know, Sunset Boulevard isn't exactly the quietest. It is kind of ironic, though, that so many studios litter that street. You've got East West Studios, you've got Sunset Sound, Capitol Records is a little bit further down the way. But back to what I was saying, that facility has housed a couple of different recording studio businesses over the years, and now it's known as East West Studios, where a lot of people go and record. It's funny though, back in the Bill Putnam Sr. and Alan Sides days, Alan Sides ended up buying a bunch of used gear from Bill Putnam Sr. for quite a steal. He got a large format recording console, he got a couple Fairchild compressors, which if you know Fairchilds, those are pretty rare. He got some universal audio gear, all for the price of around $6,000, which actually kind of upset Bill Putnam Sr. when he actually found out how much good stuff Alan Sides got from the deal. But from there, Bill Putnam Sr. actually took that as an opportunity to start a nice business relationship with Alan Sides, dealing in actually some of the sale of gear. Alan Sides was able to pick from the cream of the crop tube microphones that were available to both of them at their facility. So not only is the Townsend emulating great mics, but it's actually emulating some of the best iterations of these mics that have ever been made. Mics that you may not ever have the chance to purchase in a lifetime. Mics that arguably belong in a museum. So I'm a fan of the Townsend mic. I definitely think it's worth the cash, but I do want to talk about some of the drawbacks. The first thing is that it is still pretty expensive. It's $1,500 at the time of this video. And right now, the two additional plugins that are available cost $300 each, just for more microphone emulations. There's also a lot of duplicates in there, you know? I mean, how many U47 emulations do we need? The microphone comes with this 10-foot stereo cable, and it's a little short. Now, you can in fact chain XLR microphones, but if we wanted to set up a microphone more than 10 feet away from the interface, we're setting up 3 cables. So sometimes it's a pain in the butt to set up. The next thing is that the stereo center of this microphone is not exactly always where you think it's going to be. This seam here connotates where the stereo center should be, but I usually find it's right around here, at least if you want a balanced stereo sound. Also, this microphone has to go into a linked stereo mic preamp. Now, my Universal Audio Apollo can link the preamps very easily, but just in looking for a suitable stereo mic preamp that's linked or is stepped, I didn't find too many results. The last problem's a little bit of a weird one, and that is this microphone doesn't exactly have any clout. Now, clout's a weird word to talk about, especially in regards to a microphone. But if you're being hired by someone, you want to have a sense of confidence and authority in the choices that you're making. And part of that is the gear that you show up with. And if you've got a Neumann U87 that you're putting in front of a vocalist, they're going to feel more confident than something that maybe isn't something they're familiar with. I mean, everybody knows what a Neumann U87 is. And as much as you can convince them that this is emulating that, sometimes good quality equipment just sells you as a producer. So in conclusion, I'm a fan. I like it. I'm a big fan of the great case this comes in. The shock mount is incredible. These are really tough to find right now. I mean, we are in the midst of the pandemic. And I've been seeing resellers try and get a lot for theirs on sites like Reverb and eBay. I think the Townsend platform has a lot of promise. I would love to see some interesting improvements to this as well. Maybe some sort of tube-based power supply thing. Maybe emulates tube mics a little bit better. So that's all for today, but thank you very much for watching the video. If you don't mind, make sure you go subscribe and like the video. Follow me on Instagram at Daniel McLaughlin Music, and I will see you in the next one.